Welcome to Forbidden Shadow, where love meets betrayal. Explore stories of passion, secrets, and hidden desires. Subscribe to uncover the truth in the shadows. I never thought I would be the kind of woman to find herself in such a situation. At my age, I believed I had seen it all, lived through heartbreak, betrayal, the highs and lows of love. But nothing prepared me for what unfolded in my own home, with my own family. My name is Linda Harris, and this is my story. I married my second husband, James, when I was in my late 50s. He was a good man, stable and kind, with a warmth I had never truly known in my first marriage. James had children from his previous marriage, and while they were grown, I never quite felt like their mother. We got along well enough, exchanging pleasantries at holidays and family gatherings, but I always remained a little on the outside. One of James's grandsons, Brandon, was different. He was in his mid-20s, handsome, confident, with a charm that could light up a room. He was polite, always made time to talk to me, and had a way of making me feel seen. At first, I thought nothing of it. I chalked up his attention to simple kindness, the way a good grandson should act. But there were little moments, fleeting glances that lasted a second too long, the way his hand would rest on mine when he spoke, how he always found a way to be near me at gatherings. I ignored it. I had been faithful all my life. Even in my first marriage, when my husband had been distant and unkind, I had never strayed. And with James, I had no reason to. He was loving, he cared for me, and I felt safe with him. But then, one summer afternoon, everything changed. James had gone on a fishing trip with his friends, leaving me home alone for the weekend. It was rare that I had the house to myself, and I enjoyed the quiet. But late that evening, there was a knock at the door. It was Brandon. He claimed he had just been passing through and wanted to check on me. I invited him in, offering him a drink, thinking nothing of it. But there was something in his eyes that night. Something different. He sat close to me on the couch, his knee brushing against mine. His voice was softer, lower than usual. He told me how beautiful I was, how much he admired me, how he had always felt a connection to me that went beyond family. I should have stopped him. I should have laughed it off, pushed him away, done anything but sit there frozen as he leaned in and kissed me. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the years of being overlooked, of feeling like just a wife, a stepmother, a grandmother, never just a woman. Maybe it was the way he made me feel young again, desired in a way I hadn't felt in years. One kiss turned into another, then another. Before I knew it, I had crossed a line I could never uncross. The next morning, I woke up in my bed, the weight of what I had done pressing down on me like a boulder. Brandon was gone. Reality came crashing down. How could I have done this? To James? To my marriage? To my family? For weeks, I lived in silent torment, avoiding Brandon at all costs. But he wasn't ashamed. He would send me texts, little messages that made my heart race and my stomach twist. He would whisper things to me when no one was looking, brush past me in ways that made my skin tingle. I knew I had to end it. One evening, I sat him down and told him it could never happen again. That it was a mistake. That I loved my husband. But Brandon wasn't ready to let go. "You can lie to yourself, Linda, but I know you felt it too," he said, his voice dripping with confidence. "You don't have to pretend." I had never felt such guilt, such shame. I begged him to leave it alone, to forget that night ever happened. He promised me he would. But secrets have a way of unraveling. I don't know if it was guilt on his part or some twisted need for control, but one day, James sat me down with a strange look in his eyes. "Brandon told me something," he said. My heart stopped. "What did he say?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. James hesitated, then sighed. "He told me he's in love with you." I felt sick. "James, He swore nothing ever happened, but I need to hear it from you." I had two choices. I could lie. I could protect myself, my marriage, my life. Or I could tell the truth and watch everything crumble. I looked into my husband's eyes, the man who had given me a second chance at love, and I saw the pain there, the doubt, the betrayal he already suspected. Tears burned in my eyes as I whispered, I'm sorry. I expected him to yell, to rage, to leave me right then and there. But he just sat back, staring at the floor for a long time. Finally, he said, I never imagined that my own grandson would do this. And I never imagined you would let him. Those words cut deeper than any knife. James didn't leave me, not right away. But something in him changed. In us changed. Our once warm and loving marriage became cold and distant. He stopped looking at me the same way, stopped touching me, stopped trusting me. A few months later, he filed for divorce. Brandon? He moved on as young men do. Found someone else, someone his own age, someone he could charm and love without consequence. And me? I was left with nothing but regret. I tell this story not for sympathy, but as a warning. Temptation can come when you least expect it, and when you let it in just for a moment, it can destroy everything you've spent a lifetime building. I lost a good man, a good marriage, and a piece of myself I can never get back. And the worst part? I will never know if Brandon did it out of love or just to see if he could.